Jury Duty is a new show that takes the sitcom formula and combines it with a hoax reality. The series focuses on an ordinary person who believes that they're being filmed and interviewed for a documentary about the process of jury duty. But the average Joe in this case, Ronald Gladden, is not aware that his fellow jurors, the judge, and everyone else in the courthouse are all actors, with exception to James Marsden, who portrays an exaggerated, egotistical version of himself. Everything happening both in and out of the courtroom is pre-planned, and Ronald's world is turned upside down when what he expected to be a cut and dry jury duty process turns into one of the most outrageous experiences of his life. Today we'll be talking everything jury duty, including the shows that paved its way and the series' potential impact on TV going forward.
Okay, bud? Yeah. Where are you hurting?
Ah!
Oh,
he stepped on my hand.
When fans or even people involved in the making of Jury Duty describe the show, they often say that it's a perfect mixture of The Truman Show and The Office. I'd say it's a bit more EDTv than Truman Show, but The Office comparison makes a lot of sense when you look back on the career of the show's creators, Lee Eisenberg and Gene Stupnitsky, who together co-wrote some of the best episodes of that series. When ideas began floating around for Jury Duty, the series was conceptualized as Joe Schmo meets The Office. Without the Joe Schmo Show, Jury Duty most likely wouldn't exist. Spike TV aired 3 seasons of the Joe Schmo Show between 2003 and 2013, and the creators of Jury Duty were specifically inspired by season 1, where a man by the name of Matt Gould, the non-actor of the series, was placed into a made-up reality show called Lap of Luxury. The other contestants on the show were up-and-coming or lesser-known actors playing exaggerated versions of the usual characters seen on reality TV shows during that time. By the way, 2 of those actors were Kristen Wiig and f***ing Rickety Cricket from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But at the center of everything, Matt was the hero of the show and the person the audience kept rooting for. When the creators of Jury Duty were searching for their non-actor, they recalled Joe Schmo and kept thinking, we need to find our Matt. But they wanted someone genuine, not an aspiring actor or anyone involved in the Hollywood ecosystem. So the producers turned to Craigslist, where an ad was created that promised payment in return for 2 weeks of your time sitting on a jury while also being interviewed on camera for a documentary. The actual ad is shown within an episode of Jury Duty, but I tried my best to search for it on the Internet Archive, and all I could really find was this dude looking for a YouTuber girlfriend to be his sugar baby. But the creatives behind Jury Duty found something even better than a sugar baby when they received an audition tape from the one and only Ronald Gladden.
Hello, my name is Ronald. I am a 29-year-old male.
And Ronald was, as the creators put it, so likable that he was the easy choice. But as far as the actual actors on Jury Duty go, the writing and casting process was a bit backwards, because unlike most shows where characters are written before auditions even take place, the writers on Jury Duty actually crafted the show's characters around the sensibilities that an actor displayed during their auditions. If you look through the IMDb filmography of a lot of these performers, it's very clear that the casting department was very careful about choosing actors who have obviously appeared in some projects over the years, but maybe wouldn't be as recognizable to a casual TV watcher. I'm gonna guess that Ronald was questioned about his TV watching habits during his interviews with the producers, because for me at least, there were 2 actors that I clocked immediately. Kirk Fox played a juror named Pat and previously appeared as one of the funniest side characters on Parks and Rec, Sewage Joe.
There's an old sewage department saying, if you've got a nice drain pipe, there's no reason to hide it.
But it actually turns out that Ronald is a big fan of Parks and Rec, so Kirk Fox had to grow out a beard to hide his appearance on the show.
No, it was a good call on your guys' part, because if you wouldn't have had him grow out a beard, and if you wouldn't have kept him away from me, I guarantee at some point I would have recognized him.
And I also recognized Pramod Kumar, who played a juror named Ravi, and also appeared as the character Vali on 2 different Greg Garcia created shows, My Name is Earl and Raising Hope. As far as James Marsden goes, the creators of the show had the idea of sticking a recognizable celebrity with some improvisational skills into the mix of Jury Duty. James Marsden might not be exactly the first person you'd think of in terms of improv comedy. Those of us who watched Sex Drive back in the day know that he's more than capable of delivering some laughs.
Stick, I wouldn't let you drive the judge if it was parked on my schnutz.
But I'd say that most people know him from X-Men, Westworld, and of course, the Taco Bell Nacho Fries promotional short film. Laugh all you want, but this short film was way more entertaining and better looking than the new Flash movie.
Daddy's gonna bring you nacho fries.
James had previously worked with a bunch of creatives on Jury Duty when he appeared in the mockumentary Tour de Pharmacy back in 2017, so they knew that he had the ability to pull this off. But when discussions began about jury duty, James' first concern was that he didn't want to do a prank show. He was not interested in ridiculing or embarrassing the non-actor of the series, but the creators ensured that the show wouldn't be cruel or mean-spirited. And according to James, he signed on just 1 week before jury duty began filming. Before production started, James had 3 or 4 days of rehearsal, but the rest of the cast spent about 2 weeks rehearsing, which is a completely different process on a hoax reality sitcom like Jury Duty. Because most of the lines you hear on the show are actually improvised, but the general story beats of each episode are pre-planned. Going into the first episode of the show, every minute detail was pre-arranged ahead of time, right down to where Ronald would sit in the waiting room of the courthouse. Because aside from the crew that was pretending to film a fake jury duty documentary, the production team planted a bunch of hidden cameras all over the set that you can sort of pinpoint while watching the series, and they had to make sure that Ronald and his co-stars were in full view of them. The courthouse itself was actually a real closed-down courthouse in the Huntington Park area of Los Angeles. The crew set up a command center in the adjacent courtroom to the one seen on the show and would direct the cast using earpieces. Apparently, there were several moments during the filming of the show where Ronald started to become a bit suspicious about the crazy shit going on around him, so the actors were told to reel things in a bit.
Were there any moments in this where you were like, okay, this is not that you were onto it, but you were like, there's too many weird things happening? Was there ever a moment like when
Day number 2, they got me on camera saying to James, like, wow, this has been an interesting day, because from the get-go, like, I knew in my gut, I was like, something is not right. They got me on camera multiple times saying, I'm on reality TV, this can't be real, like, what is going on? So from the beginning...
But Jury Duty is truly a breath of fresh air in the television space. Like I said, hoax reality isn't anything new, but mixing a hoax reality format with a sitcom and letting the actors just go to town with improvised dialogue makes for one of the most entertaining comedy shows in quite some time. I honestly think that all of the characters benefited the show in some way, but Todd was, without a doubt in my mind, just my absolute favorite. He's a cybernetics enthusiast that speaks in the most flat, monotone fashion, and always has some sort of gadget or gizmo on his person.
I wear a Water Buffalo canteen backpack. It sort of is like having a small water fountain with me all the time.
Including in one episode, a pair of chair pants that he refers to as chants. A lot of people might say that a guy like Todd would be a dead giveaway in terms of like cluing someone into the fact that they're on a hoax reality show, but I worked at Best Buy for a few years, and I'm just saying, go and have a chat with someone at the Geek Squad desk for a few minutes, and you'll realize pretty quickly that Todd's personality type is very common. The characters created for the show are one thing, but seeing a regular person react to their insanity was such an entertaining experience. The creators of the show really did strike gold when they found Ronald, because just the entire interaction he had with James Marsden in regards to his role in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie won me over immediately.
Shit, you're in the movie Sonic? The new one with Jim Carrey, right? Yeah. I heard that was not a good movie. Is it funny or is it supposed to be action? Are you like a main villain?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right after Jury Duty dropped on Freevee, clips of the show and specifically Ronald Gladden started being posted on TikTok. And because of his displays of kindness on the show, he became sort of an internet sensation overnight. I'll admit, the cynic in me doubted pretty much immediately that a person could be this pure-hearted. Like, obviously, if you know that you're on camera, you're gonna put your best foot forward to avoid looking like a total dick. But based on his actions in the show and testaments from the cast and crew, I truly believe that he wasn't masking his personality for the camera. Especially when, for a majority of the show, Ronald was under the assumption that the documentary he was being filmed for would only be shown on like local access television at 3 in the morning. Witnessing the success of this show is exciting because I think that hoax reality sitcoms are going to explode in the coming years. TBS has already confirmed that they're reviving the Joe Schmo Show in 2024. The way that the show made you laugh but also provided hope for humanity through Ronald's actions was just so perfectly executed. And I'll admit, I wasn't really interested in this series until I saw the tagline at the top of the poster, boasting the fact that it was produced by individuals involved with The Office and Bad Trip. Bad Trip was essentially Eric Andre's take on the format of Borat and Jackass Bad Grandpa. A lot of the DNA from that movie and the ones I just mentioned can be felt in Jury Duty, especially during the scenes with over-the-top set pieces. It seems like the creators of Jury Duty are planning on a second season, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Obviously, because it's a hoax reality sitcom, nothing has been confirmed about it yet, but they'll probably have to change the setting of the show to something else to avoid blowing their cover. But that'll do it for today's episode. I only intended on talking about the show for like 7 or 8 minutes, but there was just so much juicy lore involved with the making of it that I ended up rambling on for way too long. Let me know what you thought about Jury Duty or if you plan to watch it now that you've seen this video. As always, thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one.